This is my audience, and someone is also recording, and they all participated in my survey. You are about to cross the finish line after a long and tiring race. You have been training for this race for months, maybe even years. You can feel your excitement, and you know you're almost done. You're getting closer and closer, and you can taste the victory within yourself. When all of a sudden something goes terribly wrong. People start shouting and something has exploded. All of a sudden, instead of feeling hopeful and wanting to celebrate, you feel terrified and saddened. This event is what happened to many runners on the day of April 15, 2013 at the Boston Marathon. This event led to many broken hearts and many security changes for major events around the country. Today, I'm going to speak to you about some history and facts about the Boston Marathon, the terrible event that took place on April 15th, and security measures that are now taking place to aid in preventing other disasters such as this one. The Boston Marathon is ran by the Boston Athletic Association, which was established in 1887. The first Boston Marathon was in 1897, and there are only 15 participants, with only 10 of these participants actually crossing the finish line. According to the survey, not many people knew when exactly the marathon takes place or how long the marathon actually is. The marathon is 26.2 miles long and is always held on the third Monday in April, which is Patriots' Day. This day is recognized only by Massachusetts and Maine, and it's a holiday to remember the start of the Revolutionary War. On the day of April 15, 2013, a tragic thing occurred. Like many people answered in the survey, 2 bombs went off near the finish line about 12 seconds apart from one another. But what many people did not know was that there was a third bomb found at a hotel that did not explode. According to CNN, the bombs were made of pellets like BBs and nails, and one was found in a pressure cooker. The survey shows that not many people knew about the amount of people that were injured in the bombing. Each answer was often quite low in the numbers. At least 264 people were injured, and 3 people were killed during this horrific bombing. Based on the survey as well, not many people knew just how long it took to catch the suspects. It took 4 days to catch both suspects. On April 19th, police were caught in a car pursuit extremely early in the morning with the suspects of the bombing. During this pursuit, one of the suspects was wounded, eventually passing away, and the other got away but was injured. The suspects were then identified as the bombers by police, and they were brothers named Tamarian and Dzhokhar Sarviyev, and Dzhokhar was still on the loose. During the day of April 19th, all of Boston was on lockdown. No one was to leave his or her home. Officers were on a manhunt trying to find Dzhokhar. At 8:15 p.m., the police finally captured and injured Dzhokhar after a witness had found him in his boat. After the bombing, cities that hold other big events began to take more serious measures in security. According to the Chicago Tribune, Naperville Police Department is planning to schedule more officers in major events. One specific thing that the department plans to do is have more plainclothes police officers and more video surveillance to help identify suspects more quickly. Another place that took greater precautions was at the Preakness Stakes, which is a horse race. Jessica Cartlesia, a reporter from CBS Baltimore, interviewed the president of a Maryland jockey club, and his name was Tom Chuckus. Chuckus described some greater measures that they were taking at the Preakness this year. He explained that there was going to be an electronic wand search, coolers would be cleared, and no backpacks or duffel bags were allowed. These places aren't the only places that took greater precautions because of the Boston Marathon bombing. Many other cities and events took time to examine what greater things they needed to do to make everyone safe. I have spoken about some history and facts about the Boston Marathon, the event that took place on April 15th, and some greater security measures that are taking place because of this event. The Boston Marathon bombing was a tragedy in America and really opened people's eyes. Government officials and police officers have begun to take greater precautions and have made plans to secure events for people, making sure nothing like this ever happens again. Even though this tragic event has happened, and many runners felt saddened instead of excited, people are not losing hope, as demonstrated by an announcer at the Fenway Park before a Red Sox game. Cheers erupted after the announcer affirmed, "We are one, we are strong, we are Boston strong."